Outer Wilds is perhaps the game that is recommended to me the most. As much as I'd love to say something more about it than that, this is literally all I know about the game, that people want me to do a blind run of it for some reason. It doesn't have any mainstream popularity by the looks of it, and the Steam page says it's an exploration, space, mystery, story-rich puzzle game, so yeah, guess we're playing that now. Roast marshmallow. Roll it. Oh, I can. Can I get closer? Or am I just... Oh, this is the best mini game I've ever played in my life. Oh, extend stick. Right trigger. Yes. Alright, we need a nice, perfectly toasted mellow. Nice. Still too toasted. Come on. We need a good, well-toasted marshmallow. Alright, and... Ah! I think I was getting close there, though. Hold up. And, maybe? Yeah, that's a nice toasted marshmallow. Hello, my name is Thorben, and I'm new to this whole gaming thing. Sure, I played games when I grew up, but it was mostly Nintendo Wii, and we didn't have a very good computer. No Xbox, no PlayStation, no nothing. So now I'm playing all the games that I've never been able to play, and I'm doing them all totally blind, as every game should be played. So I hope you'll join me today on a new adventure with a game I have never experienced, and if you want to see me try even more new games that you love, be sure to comment them below and continue watching. This guy next to the campfire says I need to get some launch codes at the observatory, so I head to this elevator thinking that it'll bring me there, but apparently that's what requires the launch codes, so I find a path through the darkness around here. Oh, I should also mention that this game strongly suggests using a controller, and if a game tells me to use a controller, I do, because I want to experience the game as the developer intended. Only problem with that is that I'm not the best at using a controller. I often have to remind myself where the different buttons are, and that's not helped by the fact that Nintendo changed the arrangement of the letter buttons and overall has like a primary button in a different location, and I've played Nintendo games on and off, and as I'll discover later, this unfamiliarity with the controller really bites me in the behind at the start. I spoke to some old lady telling me to take care of the instruments of travelers, whatever that means, and there was this one project that could take snapshots around the world. I have to assume there's something flying above us, and this has access to it. Pretty neat. I kept speaking to the occasional alien squid person, and as I went along, I saw an interesting sign. 0G cave, what? I go up to this tower to a thing called a scout launcher, and I guess I'm just easily entertained. Ooh. That laugh? That was just because I saw something get launched. And yes, I did figure out it could take pictures. I came across the 0G cave mentioned on the sign, and I just have to see what that's all about. So I run on inside and don't hesitate to press the button that brings me down to the bottom of a rather deep cave where I'm given a suit that I guess has a jetpack. It would seem I also have a flashlight that never runs out of charge. I'm not sure if there's anything I'm supposed to do down here, but I end up in this one area that does indeed have zero gravity. I float into one of the walls and find this thing with a button prompting me to fix it. At the top of the screen, it says there's 3 of these things to fix in total, so I float around until I find each of the broken pieces. And when I was trying to find the third one, I encountered the precursor to my future issues with the controls. There it is. What the? Why are both those going? No, stop going this way. Go towards it. Why was I going up the whole time? Random side thing, but something about this game really made me inspired to give the NPCs voices. Richard, not much happening down here lately. Let me think. I want to think of it. I saw something crash outside the village quite earlier. It was different. Yeah, there was on fire watching the old scout lodge. Saw smoke, so they went to check it out safety first, right? Oh, I'm kidding. I saw that big guy once. Pretty rude how long they laughed for, if you ask me. The accents for this village ended up all over the place. This one village could have been the United Nations based on, well, the voices I was giving them. I don't know. I just enjoy voice acting when I get the chance, so I'm going to throw it in there when I feel like it. Anyways, I left the zero gravity cave and lost my suit. Wasn't happy about losing my suit, and I find myself walking into what looks like a museum where this weird but also cool alien goat statue is. Apparently, nobody knows where the species came from or what happened to them. We just have their artifacts. Kind of interesting. The whole museum is also interesting as well. An anglerfish. I'm playing some Nautica as I play this, and I don't like seeing it here. I don't want more fish. Oh, oh, oh. Whoa, trippy. Oh, this would be awesome to have like an actual museum. Oh my. Okay, well, just a view map. You really meant it. Wait, what? The stone's in a different place. What? Huh? What the heck? Every time you look away, it teleports. Oh, that's awesome. There's the stone that teaches me something about the Nomai's written language, Nomai being the goat species that statue was of. There's some interesting care and detail put into the creation of the language, employing a technique I've never seen before where one person writes something and then a new author or even the same author will create a bunch of branching text from it. Very interesting idea. Now, I thought this was just a museum because I missed the sign saying observatory, so I left for a second trying to figure out where I was supposed to go, but I figured it out and went to the second floor of what I now know to be the observatory, where I was gifted my launch codes. On my way out, though, this happens. Oh. What the heck? Ah. It remembered everything I've done in the game? I'm really not sure what's going on with the statue. I spoke to this dude right outside and he's calling me crazy for saying that the statue's eyes were glowing and it remembered everything I've done as of this morning, as if that's crazy to say, but that's enough dilly-dallying. Time to get to the ship. There she is. My lovely, lovely spaceship. Let's go. Lift off. Woohoo! My goodness, I have full control. Wait, what? Oh, you're kidding. Oh, that zero gravity thing was training for this? Oh, this is so cool. What's that? Oh, that's the interloper. That's alright, we're going to Brill Hollow. But can I land wherever I want? Having so much control over interplanetary travel is very new to me. Don't think I've ever played a game that didn't play a cutscene for something like this, or else just spawned me on a location I wanted to go, so this is really neat and a whole new experience for me. The first landing actually went quite smoothly, but it also ended up setting a bad precedent where I think I was mostly okay with bouncing against the ground and ramming into things. That was a bad assumption to make, but I head on my very first space adventure on an alien world with absolutely no idea what I'm supposed to be doing or even if I'm supposed to be doing anything. I guess for now, I'll just have to explore and see what I come across. Oh my goodness, that was close. Yes, I can roast a marshmallow. Ah, what a worthy cause. Good thing I pulled up my mask so I can eat this thing. Ghost matter? Oh, is this ghost matter? Holy cow. What is ghost matter? I'd spotted some ruins upon entry and I found these buildings. They're not what I saw from space, but it's something. There's trees in the area and my oxygen is refilled, so that's good to know. There's some alien skeleton and some other discoveries. There was this one house that I couldn't enter from the ground, but I found a hole in the roof. I also saw I had some tool that seems to be trying to pick up radio frequencies. Didn't seem to pick up anything for the 2 seconds that I had it equipped, so I continued forward where these gravity crystals allowed me to walk along this cliff face. From down here, I whipped out the signal scope and scanned around until something was found. Guess maybe there is something or somebody down here. If nothing else, I have a direction to go. I move around this glowing ball and it changes the direction of this tractor beam. It brought me to a place where I had to do some platforming, but I'm still learning the ropes of how to control myself in this game and I missed a jump pretty bad. Like, oh no. No! Jump action. Oh, booster. No, the boosters aren't working. No! Oh. Where am I? Hold on. Huh? that just portal me around the world? Huh. I tried to triangulate my landing to get myself back onto the planet, but it was in the opposite side of the sun from where I was. Hold up, back off from the sun. Back off from the sun. Why aren't you backing away from the sun? Go this way. Does that have a gravitational pull? Is it pulling me in? Yes, it's not letting me stop. It wouldn't let me stop! Oh dear, what's this? Once again, my memories flash before my eyes, but this time, I awake beside the campfire and the dude there is talking as though this is the first time I've woken up, and I've never gone on a mission in my spaceship, so did I just die? Was I revived? Something weird is going on here, but I guess we gotta keep on going. So I returned to the same planet using the ship's signal scope to find where that sound on the planet was coming from and landing near there. I found some cassette and a door, but there is no way in. Unsure what to do, I waved the signal scope around a bit more outside and learned that it was detecting a signal on at least 2 other planets. So maybe there's somebody on every planet that I'm supposed to find? I wasn't sure if I had scanned the right location with the signal scope on my planet, but I found this thing that looks like more modern and not like the rest of the stuff here, so I have to assume it's important. Here I find a distress beacon, which is definitely giving a signal. Not a musical one, but a signal all the same, I suppose. I found this one thing with a bit of reading, and I'm just going to be really straightforward right off the bat here. I am really bad at remembering things in written form, so if this game is going to rely on nothing but text to convey its story, I'm going to have a very hard time keeping up with it. What I did get from the information was that there was an attempted escape using this rickety platforms that they made in the back, and they fall apart when I land on them, and I end up falling straight into the black hole again. Fuel critical. I'm aware. Oh! Oh my goodness. Well, should have thought about that probably. Lucky I'm in a time limit because otherwise I'd be super dead. A really powerful death trap. You suddenly care about safety? Oh my goodness, none of you actually care about me. None of you. That's kind of sad, but the show goes on, and once again I return to the same planet and find a landmark that was the one I wanted to explore the first time I came here. Inside, I was able to pick up something for the first time, and it makes these stones turn, and when they do, this fluid appears for a moment and the scenery around me changes. I have no idea what this means or what I'm looking at, but it's cool, I guess? I explored around some more until I saw this one platform in the distance that looks important, so I figured I'd jump on over to it. But it's working, it's working! No! No! Didn't go very well. This time I tried to land on the interloper. Thanks. It didn't go well either. I have no idea how to control this thing. I have no idea. I have been having some real trouble with orienting myself and using the boosters in the right directions, which has been part of the reason for my crashes, but probably more than this is the fact what I learned a bit later, that being there's a thing called speed that I'm not paying any attention to, and what I perceive as slow is actually quite fast. The reason I didn't notice it is because I didn't bother locking on. At this point, I'd had just about enough of Brittle Hollow and thought that maybe there's something interesting on my own little home world. Sure enough, there is this weird plant thing, apparently from the Dark Bramble planet, and the dude here suspects that the seed might grow and cause problems. Some person early in the game said that Dark Bramble is dangerous, and so I've been avoiding it, but this has me a little curious, but equally fearful. I begrudgingly returned to Brittle Hollow and venture off once more to the platform I had crashed on earlier, this time with much more success. Ended up in this weird room with a crystal ball that changes my view as I move around. There appears to be 3 different views for me to look at. I'm just not sure how many of these views help me, so I keep transitioning between different views to see if I can spot anything until... Oh, whoa. I'm in space. Oh. Uh-oh. Okay, that's the last straw for Brittle Hollow. I'm going somewhere else, like Dark Bramble. I have a very smooth landing for the first time because I finally learned that the landing camera is actually helpful when you're trying to land the ship. I know, who would have thought of such a thing? There doesn't seem to be anything here, and the signal scope is picking up a harmonica by the sounds of it somewhere in the center of the world. Looks a lot like that seed, but I guess we're heading on in to find this harmonica. It is quite creepy in here, okay? Feels a lot like the open ocean, and I'm just waiting for a Reaper Leviathan from Subnautica to come out and eat me. Go check out the Subnautica video I made if you want to see my full reaction to that. But the signal brings me all the way to the seed, and I am left scratching my head. What am I supposed to do with this? Is nobody actually down here? Is the seed making the sound? I tried running into the light, but the thorns keep me from entering, and of course, they hurt me. So I have no idea what I'm supposed to do. I used the scout launcher, lost for ideas, and it looks like I shot it in one side and out another side somewhere, so that doesn't exactly help a whole lot. And after having traveled so far, there was no chance I could return to the ship before running out of fuel and oxygen. So I hung around trying to figure this out until I died. I visited the seed at the home planet hoping for some clues and ended up shooting the scout launcher through the thing, and it would seem it came out on the other side somewhere on the Bramble planet. So it's a wormhole? Only my scout launcher can pass through? How does this help? There's some anglerfish skeleton, which I guess is cool, but not helpful, so I take off again, and at this point I'm just checking out the different planets. There was giants deep, but it doesn't look like there's solid ground to land on, but that's okay because I'm here for this wreckage I keep seeing around it when I wake up every time. Looks like a broken down ship that's very similar in appearance to the one ruin from Brittle Hollow that I think belongs to the goat people. I actually read the signs and find the correct path first try. There's a number of things going on in this room, but the only one that I felt had much relevance was that I found my first message with the branching conversations. There were several other people, but at the moment none of them seem helpful or relevant. I leave the spaceship and head off over to the interloper, which I have been wanting to explore this whole time. It just fascinates me. I found this one message thing about these people trying to not get frozen, and as I scan around for the person here, I ended up pointing it in just the right direction that I got a Steam achievement for picking up every musical instrument at once. Somehow that feels like a spoiler. Maybe it's not, but now I know I can pick up all the people from across the galaxy. I end up skating across this whole, what is this, a shooting star? Is it even a planet? I guess stars are just gas, so not that. What is this thing? Anyways, I know I scanned someone somewhere, but where could they be? How could I have missed them? I do another lap around the planet trying to find this person, but find nothing. It has me really scratching my head trying to figure out what I'm even supposed to be doing in this game. I return to the ship and check out this thing called the ship log. From here, I could check out each of the planets, and there was a description detailing the different locations that can be found on each planet, which ones I've been to and which ones I haven't, and what ones I've been to that I can explore more. Okay, this is very helpful. I guess I can use this as a general guide for at least being able to scratch things off a checklist until I figure out why I'm here. This might have been the single worst planet to have done this on, however, because I went out on another adventure when Giants Deep happened to pass by, and into the sun I go. Okay, I guess not that direct. Oh. Well, that's unfortunate. This time I head to the Ember Twins. The ash planet didn't really have a whole lot going on with it, but clearly something is buried here. I just don't know how to unbury it, so I guess to the next door planet with a distress signal, like the one I found on Brittle Hollow. The people here ended up in these caves. Another one of those things. What's the anglerfish? I've seen two of them. They explained that they've marked an admittedly confusing path through the tunnel to a base. When I learned how to properly interpret these instructions, I found this large door in a small civilization underground. It's a pretty cool place, but I quickly got sidetracked. I don't know what the deal with the ghost stone is. Whoa! Ghost stone. Good to know what that does. At this point, I just wanted to find somebody. Anybody. There's gotta be a traveler that I can actually find, and sure enough, as I was leaving orbit from a different spot than normal, I spot a moon with a campfire. Sure enough, the dude who's whistling is sitting here. kind of a sad fellow, abandoned on this moon. A little disappointing too. I found, well, after finding him, that's a lot of found, but I don't know. He didn't have really anything important to say. He gave some tips on how to find other travelers, most of which I'd already figured out on my own, but hey, I found one of the musical people, so that's cool, I guess. It'd probably be more worth my time to return to the twins and the underground city to see what can actually be found down there than continuing to talk to Mr. Whistly. I went up some stairs, through a few doors, and down and over a canyon of ghost matter begging to kill me, and came out on the other side with nothing to show for my little adventure. I figured I'd just check out what else might be on the surface and spotted something right when I turned the ship around. I'm not exactly sure what a person could call this thing, but it's keeping track of the locations of the planets. Not sure how that's helpful, but it's neat, I guess. There was some text talking about a disappearing moon. Not sure what that's about. Haven't seen a moon that looked out of place, but I presume it's out there. I continued exploring, found a broken door that leads to this thing called a high energy lab. Can't open the door from this side, but the Sunless City, the one underground I'd been to, has an entrance somewhere. So I guess I'll have to go back there another time because it's likely buried in sand at this point. I take off in my ship once again to see what else I might find on the surface. Wait, a campfire and a dude. Well, this is exciting. 2 dudes in 1 life. This is Chert. Hey, how did I never pick up your signal? Oh, hello. Come sit with me, my fellow traveler. Let's sit together and watch the stars die. Sure, why not? We only get so much time, don't we? There was still more I wanted to do. How unlucky to have been born at the end of the universe. Oh. Any minute now. Oh, okay. Hey, refuel jetpack. I thought I'd fly to the once sandy planet to see what's going on over there. Oh, something's going on. Whoa! Whoa! Wait, what the heck was that? Did these planets explode or something? Did I do something wrong? What just happened? I returned to Chert with my next life, wondering if he might say something different when we're not so close to the end of the universe, and apparently he does have some more interesting things to say. Nothing particularly interesting, actually, but he says that the twins are great for observing astrological phenomenon and overall just saying things that I already know. There's some text about some dude named Coleus disappearing and there being a northern lake bed where I can learn more about what might have happened, but I ended up getting stuck in a bad spot and couldn't find a way back up, so most of my exploration time was lost trying to get back to my ship. I did accidentally find this cave shard while wandering around, though. Oh. Huh? Ah! Then I made it to one of these alien cone things that launched me into the sun the last time I used one, and what did I do this time? I launched myself into the sun! I have no idea how to control this thing. I did do better this time, but the result was still the same. Well, I guess I didn't hit the sun while inside the pod. I couldn't seem to control it anymore, and so I abandoned ship and then hit the sun, whose gravitational pull feels very inconsistent, which I'm not a fan of. The planet just has a lot going on with it. I found the high energy lab, and there's talk about a white hole station and a black hole station, referring to the things I came across in the Brittle Hollow. The people seem excited about it, but honestly, after reading several different exchanges about these stations, I'm a bit lost as to why or what the people hope to do with them, but that could just also be because I'm not good at remembering written word, in particular when there's no visual aid, so maybe I just don't remember the potentially important bits. At this point, I'm trying really hard to check every box for this planet, just to have one cleared for what it's worth. Having some trouble finding a way to the anglerfish skeleton, though. Some writings said to go to the Stepping Stone Cave and go up, but I went to the place when it was covered in sand and there was no place to go up. I did return later when there was no sand and couldn't find a path upward for the life of me. I know there's supposed to be an entrance with a lake bed too, so I'll just have to search for that instead. I was finally able to visit the sand planet, and there was a lot more information on the black and white hole stations, but what I said earlier was even with the context of having read these texts as well. The most important thing from my time here was that I got a much better view of the end of the world. Wait, what the heck? Oh. Our star explodes? Run! Yep, that's not gonna work. Oh, Sorry about that box in the top right corner. It's a fish tank. It's a thing for when I stream on my Terraria channel. Forgot to turn it off. It won't be around for long, okay? I kept checking the ship's logs to see what I might be missing, and it said there was something around the planet charts thing. I did find a scroll, which is what it wanted me to find, but I realized that the orange planet indicator was probably the one tracking the teleporting moon because it kept moving erratically at weird intervals. And after waiting for it to move, I spotted a moon I hadn't seen before around the big green gas giant. Figuring this moon is important, I blasted off only to find that I bounced off the surface of the moon, so guess I can't actually do anything with it. I guess it's there. Cool. Let's try flying straight into the big green one. Oh! Oh, you can get inside. Oh, hello. Whoa. Goodness, this is so cool. There's land too? All right, time for some exploration here. What the heck? This actually might be my favorite planet. Yeah, it's pretty cool. I like the rain. There's weather phenomenons. There's an atmosphere. Well, I guess there's not an atmosphere, but there... Oh dear. There is at least rain. What all these tornado symbols mean? I fully expected flying into this thing was just automatic death. Oh! Whoa! Whoa! Oh, it messed with my gravity. I don't know which way I'm going anymore. Oh! What the heck was that? I figured I should return to the Ember Twin. It's going to bug me if I start exploring a new planet and don't discover everything on the Ember Twin first. I know I'll only forget something and need to relearn things, such as the details I've received about where the anglerfish bones were. But despite knowing something about the bottom of the lake bed and the stepping cave, I couldn't figure out where to go. I remember there being mention of a light, so I shot the scout into its mouth. Nothing happened, which has me scratching my head. Unlike last time, I thought that maybe I should leave it there and return to the stepping stone cave, but then I recalled it on accident as I was about to enter the cave. On the bright side, I was looking up and figured I'd shoot the scout just in case the darkness above me was more than just darkness and just so happened to be standing right below the angler bones. All I learned from this whole thing is that the scientists think the fish originates from dark bramble. Not very helpful. All that's left now is the lake bed that was mentioned before, or at least the last thing I know about. Haven't found the cave in forever, but then I found out just how deep the lake bed goes and came across a cave at last. It was quite a labyrinth and took a second for me to realize that the obstructions were teleporting like the rock at the observatory, changing locations when I look away. The message left here mentions how this guy Coleus was on the rock, a lantern went out, and Coleus and the rock were gone. So clearly turning the light on and off makes the rock disappear. It also uses the same look away rules, and so do the skeletons. Thing is though, I was so focused on the light created by the magic marble that I didn't even consider using my flashlights. It took me just about 10 minutes. 10 minutes to figure out I could just turn my flashlight on and off while standing on the rock and get out of this place. And this was my only exit, so I was stuck in that hole for a long time. I visit the sand planet again and find some text about the sun station orbiting the sun. I tried to land there once before, but it moved so fast and is so small I wasn't able to. Now the logs say that there's more to find on both of these planets, but for the life of me, I don't know where, and I've grown kind of tired of looking at them. I must admit at this point the game was really draining me. I simply was no longer interested in what was going on. I felt directionless and as though I was just repeating the same tired steps over and over again. Feels like a roguelike, and I don't enjoy roguelikes. There's only been one I've actually enjoyed. Haven't found anything about the story that has captivated me. The gameplay itself isn't particularly exciting. Don't get me wrong, it's pretty cool how zero gravity and the mechanics all function, but after a little while they get pretty mundane. But this all could just be because I've been returning to the same planet over and over again for quite a while now, so maybe I just need to mix things up. Oh, it's alive. Oh, it's alive, it's alive, it's alive. Evasive action didn't work. Okay. What did I try to do? Land on the station orbiting the sun. But let's just say that plan didn't go well. I even got an achievement for managing to die within 60 seconds of waking up, which I guess is an accomplishment. I really couldn't figure out how I was supposed to land on this thing, so after many failures, I thought I'd return to the Brittle Hollow, as I'm sure there's plenty I haven't done here yet. I especially want to find the traveler who's trapped here. I found some interesting diagram in some place called the Hanging City. My first thought when I saw the place was literally, oh no, not another sunless city. I was worried it'd be just a repeat of the Ember Twins, but thankfully things were different enough to stay interesting. I could make this forge move up and down, and there was a whole lot of writing, mostly talking about the two forges and whether this poke fellow can recreate a warp core. There's a lot of talk about a vessel as well, and I'm not sure what a vessel they might be talking about, only that it sounds important. I went to the North Pole, pretty sure red is the north one, and found some writing. There's also one of these things I've seen on just about every planet, and I can't interact with it, so I'm entirely uncertain as to what to do or why they're here. Returning to the city, I ran back across the bridge and found my way to Rebec. Well, it's the end of the world, dude. Bye. Nice meeting ya, but maybe next time. Unfortunately, he didn't really have anything to say that I didn't already pretty much know, like all the other travelers so far. So some were good reminders. He was a little cryptic from time to time, and these travelers strike me as a generally more helpful people the earlier you come across them. Random thing, but the controls for locking on to a target kept on breaking randomly. I had to remap it every 3 or 4 deaths sometimes to get it working, and if I played for like more than an hour, then it just went out every death. And I know it wasn't a problem with the buttons because I could switch on and off and back and forth between the same buttons and it worked fine. Is this a bug? Thankfully, I was able to fix it easily enough and I was able to lock on, but it was a little obnoxious. I found what I think is the school district and read the script there. There's this whole discussion about an eye with the whole conversation sounding like one about the existence of God. First time I've heard about an eye, and the text isn't orange like most of the other things that are apparently important, so no idea what that's about. After checking out all the floors, I wanted to get to the ceiling where the forge thing goes, but the obvious path there was blocked. So I walked around and accidentally found the Southern Observatory. I just can't get inside. I'm gonna have to figure that out another time because the end of the world, I think, is pretty soon, and now Brittle Hollow is all messed up, so I figured I'd go to the volcanic moon orbiting the place. The map says it's unexplored, which implies that it can, in fact, be explored. Up the volcano, it's a fun time. Up the volcano, it's a fun time. See what's inside the volcano. Maybe it's just lava. Yep, that's all it is. Yep, that's all it is. It's nothing. Bonsai. Whee! Alright, I'm toast. I am so... Oh, I live. Volcano. It's a volcanic place. Volcano. There's a bunch of them here. Volcano. It's a cool place, but not very cool. It's hot. I fell into the lava without finding a single thing. On my next takeoff, I came across one of those things I've seen on all the other planets, as well as some Greek-inspired arches. Past a bridge and through a waterfall, and I find a nomad door. For some reason, I didn't expect to find things on Timber Hearth. Guess I should explore the home planet a little bit more, but then again, all the information here is stuff I already know. Maybe the game thought I'd explore the planet earlier in the game, which is a fair assumption. Whoops. I did find one thing with this tablet, and now there's these glowing nomai masks staring at me. Well, some glowing and some not. I have to assume I'm supposed to light them all? Maybe? I take off and find myself accidentally locking on target with a tiny glowing red dot. But what is it? I still don't know. Whenever I got close to the thing, it was already gone. It was kind of a useless a task. It did draw me close to the White Hole Station, though. Doesn't seem to be any planet here, but there is a nomai structure, which I presume is the actual White Hole Station itself. Inside, there's talk about being teleported to the Brittle Hollow by standing on a platform. Wasn't sure what it meant by platform, so I wandered around outside thinking it'd probably be out there, only to end up flying into the interloper, which apparently casts itself into the fire. Well, I'm confused as to what to do again, so I guess I'll check out another planet. Dark Bramble. I've been here before, but all there was a seed playing music. I didn't check out many of the lights though, so maybe there's more here. Oh no. Anglerfish. I didn't see it coming. Well, if the lights are just going to be anglerfish, maybe I should go back to Brittle Hollow because I still want to get on top of the forge. I just can't for the life of me figure out how I'm supposed to do that. So I forge by my own path by raising the forge, running outside, and hitching a ride on the way up. Didn't work and ended up in the White Hole Station, but this gave me a chance to figure out what this platform the text was referring to is. Whoa! Yes. Now, as I'm certain that this is not how I'm supposed to get up there, you might be surprised to learn that you can indeed hitch a ride up on the forge. Maybe I'm not special and you're actually supposed to do this, but I think I'm special. Find this room and read all the text around the area before forgetting I'm being held on the ceiling by a gravity platform and make the mistake of jumping. I check the ship logs again, looking for some direction, and dark bramble is still grayed out, indicating I haven't found anything that you can there, so I guess it's time to play with the fishies again. Thought the red light might be interesting, but there are 3 anglerfish camping the front door, so to speak, so I backed out really quickly. Now, the only thing I remembered from my previous visit is that I followed a signal all the way to the end and it was nothing, so I didn't think to check for signals again. But when I did, I found out there was at least 3 different lights emitting a signal. So I followed a different one than before and came across the weary traveler of this world, Feldspar, perhaps my favorite traveler thus far. Apparently, he's quite the pilot and barely managed to land here safely. His ship is a bit worse for wear and I figured I should fix it for him, but was electrocuted instead. So I figured I'd follow his instructions to walk along the vine here and came across a jellyfish you absolutely should never eat. Talking to Feldspar some more, I learned that anglerfish are blind, something some Nomai writing must have said and I'm fairly certain I've read, but now it's ringing all kinds of bells. Also, the gas giant has a core and Feldspar won't give me any hints as to where to find it. I couldn't find a way to leave this place either, at least not with my ship, so I waited for the end of the world with my new friend and used the time to think about how the anglerfish being blind could be helpful information. After all, there's got to be a way to get past those 3 who are spawn camping. The only thing I can think of is letting myself float and not using my engines. As it would turn out, that's exactly what I needed to do. Oh, look at that. What the heck is this? I spent quite a bit of time flying around these red beads trying to figure out what the heck they are and couldn't. I find some seeds in the area that teleport me in an infinite loop, but if I fly through one and turn around, then it brings me out of the world altogether. Unsure as to where else I could go in the dark bramble, I made a stop at Giant's Deep. Coolest looking planet in my humble opinion, and I've hardly explored it. I found a new island with some text and a grate which I investigated until I unwittingly learned what the tornadoes do. What the heck? In space? Huh? What the heck? Using this knowledge and the fact that there appeared to be a cave below me, I flew around the island to the bottom of it while it was in space and was able to easily swim up when it landed. I say easily, but this planet is a pain to navigate with its extremely strong gravity. Hadn't really occurred to me that the gravity was different until I missed a jump. Anyways, this is where they made the statues which store the Nomai memories. Waiting for another tornado to bring the island into space so I could access the 2nd floor was a bit obnoxious. And on another island, I found Gabbro, who is apparently going through the same time loop that I am. Weird. Wonder how we can both be going through the loop at the same time. I know how you can get into a time loop with the statues, but I don't know. Time travel works different in different games, so I'm just wondering if there's something more to it that I haven't figured out yet. There's also a cave with ghost matter, and I'm still assuming there's a way you can walk through the stuff without dying. Still haven't found that way though. Not seeing any other island outside of a jellyfish bramble island, I noticed a giant tornado and tried flying into it with no success. It then occurs to me that the eye of the storm might be weaker, and so it's possible I could fly through the top. It's a bit hit or miss where the top of the thing is, but I find it and see this tall tower. On the first attempt, the world ended right as I was about to finish the challenge with 2 of the gravity crystals, partially because I got trapped for a long time in a room with 1 crystal and an arch. For the longest time, I just didn't see the arch. Not that I couldn't keep it still, but I legitimately didn't see the arch ever for like 5 minutes, despite, you know, staring at it face to face several times. Of course, I returned and cleared the building, no problem. I was expecting some big reward or reveal, but there's just some text saying congratulations, along with a mural of 2 people I swear I've seen somewhere before. With the tower done, I desperately looked around the thingy for some clue as to what I was supposed to be doing. There were larger question boxes that I have to assume are the most important, and I decided to try and focus on uncovering them all. First stop was Brittle Hollow, where I visited what I'm pretty sure is the Southern Observatory. Could not for the life of me figure out how to get up there, but I guess that's not actually one of the big question boxes I just mentioned. Next stop was the Ash Twins, where I hope to find a teleporter to the Sun Station. Another non-big question. Okay, I jumped the gun a bit on that. I did start focusing more on the big ones a little bit later, but I guess I'm just checking boxes. Okay, Anyway, I remembered a room with cactuses that I couldn't get around earlier in the game. I hate how the elevator is hidden at the end of this awful room, but I actually managed to navigate my way through these cactuses where I found a teleportation platform with a message saying the sun station is offline. And that is stupid. Guess I can't teleport there now. Maybe I need to be here sooner. The planet does have a lot of these platforms though, so I tried another and ended up on Giant's Deep. Probably the place I needed to be the least right now. On a different loop, I went straight to the Ash Twins, and after standing around for a while, waiting for the sand to go away, I was able to walk to the elevator on top of the sand. Hey ho, there's such a small time window to do this, but I teleported to the sun station. This is much easier than landing on the thing like I had tried before. I opened the door, go on a spacewalk, and get dragged into the sun. The second attempt at the spacewalk went much more smoothly. Here I learned that the Nomai are actually trying to intentionally destroy the sun. They need the sun to explode as a power source for the Ash Twin project, I think. I'm pretty sure some of this was not included in the text right here, but my basic understanding of putting the pieces together is that the Nomai were going to explode the sun as a power source for the Ash Twin project. The statues were built as a failsafe in the event of failure, but were also supposed to activate if the project succeeded. So somehow I've been caught up in this cosmic scheme and something went wrong for the Nomai. Next stop, the Quantum Moon, or at least that's what I wanted to happen, but I kept flying through it. This happened before, but I read some of the info again and realized that things always arrive on the southern side of the moon. There's no telling which side of the moon is south, so it's a pain because no matter what angle I flew in, I couldn't land on the thing. I even tried shooting my scout at it, but the thing kept looping around due to gravity. After lots of struggling, I confess that I googled how to land on the stupid moon. The answer apparently had to do with the scout and the quantum mechanics I had learned from the tower in Giant's Deep. I need to use the scout to take pictures as I land. And it's a good thing I did look up the answer because even after doing this, I still had many more attempts that failed and still couldn't get the moon to stay still until I remembered I could take pictures behind the scout, so I could shoot it past the moon and take pictures from the other direction rather than relying on the scout landing somewhere on the moon. Inside is a tower and a bunch of quantum traveling. Spooky, but honestly not interesting. I explored every subworld, I guess I'll call them, that I could and found a few things, but nothing of note. I also couldn't for the life of me get to the twin subworld. Not sure if you even can, or maybe there's a mechanic I'm missing. Next stop was the Bramble because I realized that this whole time I could switch between the signals that I was picking up. This whole time I assumed the signal changed automatically, but no, you can also detect quantum signals and distress beacons, and on the return trip I found a distress beacon in the Bramble. The Nomai trapped here are trying to get to a vessel, but there's two identical signals. Following a light path they left, I came across a tragic sight of their demise. But there's two signals, and for a second I forgot I could shoot my scout through the seed and have it appear on the other side, which is presumably going to lead to the correct signal. And sure enough, I found the vessel, and I have no idea what's going on here. Cool find, but what the heck do these things even do? There's a thing called a warp core, but not much else. I thought removing the thing had done something though, because when I left, Giant's Deep just so happened to be eclipsing the sun and dragging me and the ship into it. Really thought this was a special event for a moment, but it just so happened to be weird timing. Having found the vessel, I figured I should explore elsewhere. I need to find the Ash Twin project, and the only thing I haven't done there is test all the teleportation platforms. I end up arriving at a pair of platforms, one with a broken ceiling and one without, and I couldn't get either of these platforms to teleport me anywhere. Plus the sand kept pulling me up and away from the broken one, and I have no idea if that's a problem or not. Spent the entirety of a cycle just trying to use that one platform, hoping that maybe the thing needed to be given some time to work, but no. Sure enough, I ended up looking up the answer again, and I'll dive into that at the end of the video. But once again, I can say with certainty, it would never have occurred to me to try and run into the teleporter while the sand was over it after pinning myself in the door frame. Even after doing this, the difference between doing this and standing there when the sand comes feels negligible. But sure enough, I'm at the Ash Twin project, and it's so cool. There's a whole lot of story dumped here, but what catches my eye is the warp core. What did I do? I replaced the warp core from the vessel with the one in the Ash Twin project. Now the thing doesn't work. Not sure what impact it had though. All I noticed was that the music was quite different now. Not having time for anything else, I decided to watch the sun explode to see if anything happened. Run away! Oh no, here it comes! Oh no! No, run away! Ah, oh no, it's so big. I'm gonna do it, I'm gonna escape. Go, go, faster, darn you, ship. Go, 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 faster, faster. If I actually do outpace it, what would happen? I outpaced it. Huh? I am in deep space. What if I fly back? I outran it, and now I can't die. Game. Oh. Huh? Hey. Wait, what? Huh? What? That can't be right. I just flew away? Huh? Does this game have multiple endings? What just... Okay. That... Well, huh? Huh? So, what was the point of everything I did? Could I just have done that from the start? Like, from the very beginning, can you just fly away? How long would the game make you go crazy trying to figure out the solution to a problem there never was? What's going on here? Why am I being played to credits? Now, personally, I'm not a very big fan of games with multiple endings, mostly because if a game gives me an ending and rolls the credits, I take that as a sign that I did what I was supposed to do and the game ends there. I, like most people, don't replay very many games, so if I'm presented with an ending, then it becomes the one and only ending for me, unless this is the, like, 2% of games that you actually replay. But because I'm making a video about this for the YouTubes, and a lot of people wanted me to try it and I have a gut feeling that something isn't right, I looked up whether or not Outer Wilds even had multiple endings, and sure enough, it does. Basically, if I get that orange text, I got a bad ending or whatever, and not the quote, true ending. So I jumped back on with an idea. I think I put a broken core into a working machine, but what if I put the working core in place of the broken one? So that's what I did. I put in the good core, entered some coordinates, and messed around with the marbles until something happened and I'm brought to... Wait, is this the eye of the universe, the Nomai we're talking about? Nothing was happening though, except for the view, so I moved the marble again and ended up on what I think is the surface of that black hole thing I was staring at. Eventually, I see a hole in the sky, and what other rational thing is there to do but jump right into it? Whee! What the heck is this? Oh, that is spooky. Oh. Hello. This is a picture of the other explorers, and turns out I'm in the observatory, but not in the observatory. I find my way to a forest of galaxies that I can run into and destroy, so of course I did that plenty, but most of them were also blowing up on their own. There's an unidentified signal. That's not creepy at all. Wait, that's me. Ah! And flashing this tree turns it into a campfire. Oh, that's just my shadow. Ah! For some reason, Esker is here and he asks if I can hear music. With a little work, I collect the instruments of every traveler until they've all appeared around the campfire. Talking to them, I tell them to all start playing, at which point this creepy planet thing appears over the campfire. That's creepy. Touch it. Oh. What the heck? Why is the music so epic? I'm pretty sure this isn't good. Well, this is a little bit different. Is that good? Right? I'm not sure what that means, but alright. Yes, I saw the ending after the credits where there's this thing that looks like a new universe or whatever. Maybe that's the DLC content I saw on the Steam store, but this brings me to the part of the video I've been dreading. I have to give my honest opinion, and this is it. The few videos I've watched that mention Outer Wilds all have collectively chosen not to spoil things and advocate for people to experience it themselves. People in the comments begged that I play this game as blindly as physically possible, and so I didn't stream it, fearing that there might be those who will spoil whatever wonders were promised to me. And now, after having finished Outer Wilds, I'm left scratching my head, and not in a very good way. The game, as a whole, was just kind of okay, and there were so many points when I wanted to set the controller down and scrap the video because I was bored and lost. Nothing about the game made me curious to know more about the story, nor drew me in enough to solve its puzzles. After thinking a great deal about it, I've come up with a couple of potential reasons why. For one, this just isn't my type of game. I am the guy who couldn't give a flying bupkis about a video game's lore or story. Ever since starting this channel, I've been making a concerted effort to get a bit more into it, but unless a game's lore really intrigues me like the Portal games, I honestly have a hard time caring enough to pay close attention. It's mostly just how I view games in my current phase of gaming, I suppose. It's all about the actual playing of the game. Cutscenes, dialogue, spoken or written, lore in general, it's all just in the way of playing the game itself. And if the gameplay itself is not fun, I care even less about the story because I'm not having enough fun to explore the lore and stick around inside the game long enough to learn more about it. I'm not interested in slogging my way through a game just to learn more about a story after all. Which brings me to the second potential issue, which is how the story is told. There are very few non-linear narratives that I have any real grasp of. Most of the time I find stories like this to be pretentious art house films looking for an Oscar rather than trying to tell a good story. That is not at all, want to make clear, not at all an accusation against Outer Wilds though. I think that they presented the story quite well. I don't think it's pretentious, I don't think they did that. That's just my general view of this kind of storytelling. The issue comes from the fact that I found disconnected pieces of the story at different points and then have to later assemble them to understand what's going on. And as I mentioned earlier, I struggle remembering written word presented all on its own, so trying to not only remember what I'd read while also putting the pieces together proved quite difficult. Only the highlighted key words and a few different events stuck. And so it was hard for me to be interested in or engaged with the story when I was struggling just to figure out what the story even was. It was like I had to actively find a reason to care rather than being given one. This is why I ended up Googling a few answers at the end. I'd grown tired of the game, and when I hit an obstacle I didn't understand, I no longer cared enough to spend hours figuring it out. Still kept it to a bare minimum, but I did look up one or two things. And I'm also going to have to Google what the heck was the deal with the ending because I'm at a total loss. I'm sure there's people who already have or might still leave furious comments telling me how I played the game wrong or I'm stupid or that I'm emblematic of a problem with modern gamers, but I'm just another dude playing a video game and sharing my honest thoughts. And I'm not going to lie or gloss over the times I find a beloved game to be boring or uninteresting. When I do, I want to dig in deep and find out why, because it's not like I wanted to dislike Outer Wilds. I was super excited about it actually, but it just never clicked. And I want to try and understand why so many other people love this game and why I didn't. I really want to enjoy this game and I would love to share in the love for it that everybody else has. But those are my honest thoughts and my experience with Outer Wilds, a game I simply don't understand.